Hi Capricorn, and welcome to your April 2019 general reading. I'm going to pull you an additional guidance card before I shuffle the deck, okay? And you got the soulmates card, okay? So, interesting card. I'm sort of laughing. Soulmates come in many shapes and forms, as most of you know. It can be work colleagues, romantic relationships, family relationships. But it's clear that relationships and a connection is going to be the theme of the month of April. So I'll pull your reading and we'll clarify the soulmates card as we go along. So can you please give me straight messages for Capricorn? It's really funny, you're my second reading. I did Aquarius first and God, their reading was amazing. So I'm really hoping Capricorn gets the same amazing energy as Aquarius. Come on guys, show me a clear-cut reading for the sign. So 8 of Swords behind you, but it's behind you feeling stuck by circumstances. With the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords is the gift that cuts through the 8 of Swords. It's the gift of truth, by the way. A lot of people don't like the truth. It's one of these things because the soul loves the truth, but the ego doesn't, yeah? And we're all made very similar, Capricorn, so we can't judge each other. Because the Ace of Swords' ability is to cut through the 8. And then we take a leap of faith at the 10. Anyhow, what you most want is the Fool card. So the Fool card is about exciting new pathways. And it's almost like here, you want to be free of the 8 of Swords. So this might be circumstances. There can be endless circumstances, work, relationships that making you feel that you cannot move forward to have what you really want. And when the Fool shows up as what you really want, it's about exciting new pathways. It's about exploring new chapters of your life. The gift is the 2 of Cups, soulmate card. The Page of Cups as a challenge. I think this could be an interesting reading. You got the Death card in your relationship house. This is interesting already, because this is clearly love here, but some of you might be having to let go of a relationship to enter into a new one, or you're having to shred an old identity. The Death card is so unoften that it actually means what you think it means. 9 of Swords and money and work, don't like seeing that for you. I'll clarify. 2 of Wands at a soul position, so 2 twos showing up here. Another 2. Anyhow, I'm going to clarify what comes after the 2. You've got 3 twos. So the twos are all about balance. And you're trying to get balance between decision making, between you and another person, about the future that you want to take. I think that's a bit of an illusion with that 2 of Wands, but I'll talk to you when I get there. Tell me more. Give me a major or an ace for after the 2 of Swords, please, for Capricorn. If none comes up, guys, it just means that you're still in this chapter. It's not ready to reach resolution yet. Oh, you got the Strength card. Where's the Strength card looking? At the 2 of Cups. But you're not moving very fast because the 2 of Swords is with the King of Pentacles. Oh my god, that guy drives me mad. Sorry. Love earth element. Not can be a very sometimes it grips its hands and says, I will not change. Yeah. Sorry, it sort of makes me laugh because I'm an air sign, so I just fly. And the King of Pentacles is very, I will not budge from my position. But in the Strength card is looking right at that 2. I might find a connector card between these elements. But what's behind you? 8 of Swords is someone who feels trapped through circumstances. So again, a lot of people say it's an illusion. It ain't always that simple, is it, guys? And if anyone who knows that, it's going to be you. Sometimes we are tied to circumstances, especially maybe jobs that we don't like. And having to break through that can be very, very fear-producing. I think sometimes people are in relationships they don't want to be in, but they're tied through financial obligations. That might be for some of you, okay? But the 8 of Swords is this feeling of being restricted. But the Ace of Swords in reality is a gift that breaks through that limitations of the 8. What you do with a gift is really what creates your destiny, because we can just avoid it and we can stay blindfolded, and then we get to stay not very much in a good place. But you want the Fool, and the only way to get cards at the Fool is to be in your truth, because you don't get the Fool just like that. It's a huge attainment to be in the Full energy, and it generally comes through, okay, I feel terrible fear, but I'm going to walk forward anyhow. It's so strange. So 2 of Cups as the gift, same as the soulmate card. So obviously there's some relationship for you, Capricorn, that seems to be some sort of gift that's helping you get the energy of the Fool card. So some of you might have someone in your life that when you're around them, they just make you feel so happy to be alive. You know, they don't add to more of your wands that you're carrying. In fact, even being in their presence makes you feel really, really free. Beautiful energy to have. The challenge is the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups walks forward carrying the Ace. So he begins to announce his feelings and his love, but it's your challenge, which means, Capricorn, there's potentially a lot of feeling here, but maybe not an awful, maybe it's a struggle for you to express that feeling, or the other person is doing that, but I'm morely getting that that's for you. Give me a minute. Why is the Page of Cups a challenge, please? Because of the Moon, okay? So the Moon is about being in uncertainty. The Moon represents our sense of safety and being familiar. For some of you, this is either a new love, or it's a love, maybe they've been around you for quite a while, but it's got a little bit of a difficulty attached to it, because the Moon wants to be safe. That's the purpose of the Moon, but the Page wants to move out. He wants to take risks. He wants to move out, because really that's when we meet. Everything that we want lies beyond the veil, but we need to move beyond the veil. And there's a little bit of fear about going beyond the veil, Capricorn. That's what I'm picking up. Do not make anything personal, because everyone's soul self has the same architecture. So we're all the same in an essential way. Some people in certain areas more than others, and that's how you get something like a birth chart done, because it shows you the areas where you're mostly challenged. But some of you are in a period of uncertainty, but some of you have been asked to move out of your comfort zone. And it's like you want to put the blanket back on you and just keep safe. But the Death card is showing up in your relationships. Huge transformative energy. This is the energy of Pluto, and Pluto is what rules our soul and our soul's evolution. There's a huge force moving through your relationships this month. I think for some of you, I have to say what I see. There's maybe a whole new love came on the scene, but it means you're having to shred an old one. For some of you, you're shredding an old sense of identity in order to move forward to this beautiful Fool and the Two of Cups. And I'm sorry, I sort of have to put myself in the shoes of the cards. I can hardly think of anything more beautiful than these two cards together, because that's loving without an agenda. That's what love is. You know, we love in a way that's free. And this is love without an agenda. But in order to get there, there's an old identity, an old skin to be shred, okay? Or maybe even someone has to be let go of. Nine of Swords and money and work, okay? So why is this showing up for Capricorn? The Nine of Swords is a contracting card. So we're either contracting or we're expanding. There's a lot of expansion in love for you, although there's a bit of contraction as the challenge. There's some anxiety around your finances and your work. So can you give me another card, please? Please give Capricorn the messages that it needs, please, in order to move beyond the Nine of Swords. Ooh, Six of Wands. So you're going to move beyond the Nine of Swords. Because the Nine of Swords is a card that contracts us. It keeps us, we all do it, but in a place that suffocates us sometimes. Literally. I think some of you might be taking some risks and maybe even going after a new job. I think I also have to say, this might only be for a few of you watching. Some of you might be going through a separation and somehow your finances are tied up together. Okay, if it's not you, just send blessings, Capricorn. The way you change your whole life is to bless other people, by the way. So the Six of Wands is some significant victory is coming through for you. But it might be, it will be, through moving beyond the veil. The veil is the great Maya. We need to break through it to get to the other side. Two of Wands at a soul position. This card does my head in, because it's always classed as the fork in the road card. But is it really? Because he's got the ace in his hand. He's just frozen himself a little bit. And the reason why we freeze ourselves is because change means we have to go into the Moon card. We have to risk safety in order to find what we're looking for. And that's what the Two of Wands is about. It's about courage, being assertive and going, well, you know what? Like the Fool would say, well, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going anyhow. You know what? Most of us, the universe meets us when we meet it. But the universe can't get to us if we're building our lives too small. Anyhow, you're sticking with the twos because the Two of Swords, I'm sorry, I mean, there's a little bit of a struggle here, because the Two of Swords to me is a card of not fully wanting to deal with things as a blindfold on your eyes. I don't think it's about not knowing what you want. I think you're clear about what you want, Capricorn. I think the whole issue is when we move forward in new directions, we automatically meet fear that tells us to stay safe. And we need to create a relationship with these two parts of us. And then we need to keep walking. Because first of all, King of Pentacles, again, not moving very much, very slow to move. But on the opposite, you're becoming the master of your element, so very much powerful, very powerful self-esteem and self-value. So loving it. When the king or queen of your element shows up, I always think, God, that person's in their power. You know, they're really sort of owning their element, which is about self-esteem, boundaries. The shadow side of that King of Pentacles is in that Two of Swords. Not quite ready to move out of that comfort zone and reveal the Ace of Cups, your true feelings towards someone. Your outcome is a Strength card. Now, I can't decide, because sometimes I read the Strength card very often as about holding back feelings. Can be. In another way, it's about learning to manage your fear. So the fear would be the lion. So you're pulling on your resources, your strength. And the Strength card is looking at this Two of Cups. Capricorn, you know exactly what you want. I'm sorry. Because the Strength card is about, it rules Leo and the heart, which in astrology is our purpose, our sense of destiny, our soul's colours. And it's looking right at the Two of Cups. So there's a relationship here that you feel creates colour for you. There's a lot of insecurity about moving out your comfort zone. But when you begin to understand that is how the soul's designed, you can learn to have compassion towards fear. And you learn to be the driver of your own destiny. And you no longer let fear run you, but you're this master, the Strength, the lion. Roar, Capricorn. Because you know what you want. Very interesting. Honestly, second reading, both signs got absolutely very powerful readings. It's because, yeah, look, in your relationship, I told you, something that you want here. It's when we follow our desire that we find our purpose. Some of you might be in the position of having to let something go. Endings are part of life, okay? Someone said to me a little while ago, if I don't know how to end something, I shouldn't be in a relationship in the first place. And boy, have I got better at endings. Some of you might be ending it to move forward in a new relationship, but not all of you. Some of you are shredding an old identity based on fear of intimacy, fear of revealing yourself, and you're shredding that identity and you're going, well, God damn it, I know what I want and I'm going after it. It ain't going to be straightforward, Capricorn. You're going to go backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. You're going to master it. You're going to absolutely master it. So look out for my weekly readings, and that really was an honour, by the way, to do that reading. I don't know why, I've got it's a real beautiful feeling about it. Okay, lots of love, bye.